Let's check in with Turning Point's White House correspondent Monica Paige over there at the White House. Looks like a blustery, overcast-ish day. Monica, so I'm not entirely sure this joke is going to land, but it is not June, so it's not Pride Month, and yet for some reason the Canadian Prime Minister is still visiting the White House. I assumed that that would be the general time in which the Canadian Prime Minister does visit, but apparently they visit all other times of year. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, is at the White House today. What do you think him and President Trump talked about? And what was the kind of reception that the Canadian guy got from the White House?
Sure. Well, of course, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived here around 11:55 a.m. Eastern Time. He left here around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And President Trump and the Prime Minister both had conversations surrounding tariffs. As we
Mm,
stand right now, Canada has about a 35% tariff on them overall. That doesn't include anything like steel, automobiles, anything sort of like that. But overall, 35% tariff. So they're kind of talking about how to make each nation stronger, how to work together for the future. Of course, global concerns like Israel Hamas and Russia Ukraine, and also the ongoing issue of fentanyl. The president was also pressed on the issue of fentanyl in the Oval Office just this afternoon. One of the reporters asked, what's the state of fentanyl as it stands right now and the flow of fentanyl from our northern border? And the president said, well, it's not good and it doesn't really look like it's letting up, unfortunately. But he did say that Mark Carney has been doing a better job than his predecessor in stopping the flow of fentanyl, but it still remains a huge problem.
mm.
And of course, the president has been very staunch in cracking down on the flow and just the flow and import of fentanyl coming into this country, as we've seen previously through his narco terror attacks. But then another huge impact on our country is the northern border as well. Even not only fentanyl, but immigration and illegal immigration as well. So, president also cracking down on that. But the two still had conversation regarding tariffs. That just really seems to be the elephant in the room when it comes to that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would imagine that Mark Carney is not thrilled, but at the same time has almost zero leverage, which is always interesting. You talked about the war in the Middle East, Israel Hamas. This is
Mhm.
October 7th, the 2 year. I don't know if you call something tragic an anniversary, but I guess it's been two
Right.
years to the day since. There have been some hostages who have visited the White House, I believe, beforehand, but there's another one coming today. Can you kind of tell us about that? But also, I mean, more broadly, President Trump's position. He's kind of setting some hardline dates with Hamas now, who've said we totally agree, except for a bunch of these major issues, which I'm not entirely sure how that works. But
Right.
more broadly, the Hamas-Israel conflict, but also the hostages visiting the White House today.
Yeah, I've got Eden Alexander. He was
Mm,
held hostage by Hamas for about 584 days. He was actually believed to be the last living hostage until more information came out. There's still 48 more hostages. We don't know how many exactly are alive or how many exactly are dead, but there are still a couple dozen more hostages left, unfortunately. And the president's been working
yeah.
so hard to try and get each and every hostage out. Of course, we saw that 20-point peace plan that was announced just last week. We're still waiting on more information regarding where that peace plan stands, if Hamas is accepting it. They're only accepting certain terms and conditions, like you alluded to, Jobob, but still the private discussions are underway still continuously each day that goes on. I'm sure the president continues to be briefed on the ongoing situation in the Middle East. But yeah, it'll be interesting. So far, that event, as it stands right now, I think it's just going to be closed off to the press. I'm sure we'll probably get some pictures and videos later
Mhm.
as your show airs tonight. We'll get some more information regarding that. But still, it still remains to be a hot button issue for the president. And I mean, we'll see how this turns out. But it's definitely a very busy day for the president, as it always is, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, and of course, everybody's rooting for President Trump's peace deal to be accepted by
Mhm.
everybody, so that the war ends. Monica, this is I didn't warn you about this, but I'm actually just curious about you as an anecdotal part of our overall experience. If you're driving through Washington D.C. or riding the metro or whatever it is that you do, how you travel, and somebody makes a terrible driving mistake, and they have a political bumper sticker that you don't agree with, does that change how you view that driver?
Yes, yes, I don't even have to think about it. And it definitely changes how I treat that driver.
So,
I'm
okay,
not going to be very nice to that person.
we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, but thank you for reiterating the fact that, yeah, political, well, the study is that the people who have different political views and the bumper sticker on that car, if they cut that person off, they're going to be more mad if they're like if they've got an Obama Biden sticker or a Harris
We
Walz
see a
sticker.
lot of those here. They don't even have to be making a driving mistake. They could be driving with their mask on, and I'm still going to abuse them. That's just how it goes. Maybe that's just the East Coaster in me, but I just get really aggressive.
I'm glad. Thank you for being honest. I had a little bit different of a take, but I appreciate the honesty, especially as we include your anecdotal data in our very scientific experiment on whether or not bumper stickers actually cause more of an issue than not. Monica Page, thanks so much for reporting. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.